Well, now we're going to begin Part C of Section 10.2. And I've been going slow just to make sure I don't lose you in the math or in the technology. So we started this B part with the square root function. And I wrote the note that the domain exists for only values of x that create a value in the radical that is greater than or equal to 0. And that gives us a clue where the radical starts. Now we're going to expand our thinking with this next example. In this example, our first step is to figure where does it start? What x value do we start with? So we're going to say x minus 2 has to be greater than or equal to 2. X has to be greater than or equal to 2. So in our t-chart, start at x is 2. And then we'll figure out where we're going after that point. So in this case, I'm saying f of 2 equals the square root of 2 minus 2 plus 1. So this is going to be the square root of 0 plus 1. So we have 1. F of 2 is 1. Well, that's our start point. And we can see what's happened. We've moved to the right 2 and up 1. The whole function from the parent function has moved to the right 2 and up 1 to create the start point. So we can immediately say that the graph of f of x will be the graph of y shifted 2 units to the right and up or upward by 2 units, 1 unit, sorry. All right, so now if we're looking at the graph, we're saying we moved it to the right and up. Well, that starts at the 0, so it's not that one. This one starts at the origin, not that one. This one is reflected. It means it's negative, and that's not it. So, did I miss it? It must have been the first one. Oh, I'm sorry, because that's negative 2. It's not negative 2. Sorry about that. I just couldn't see it. There it is. It's this one to the right 2 and up 1. And it's so hard because I printed it from the computer. So here we go with 7. If R is an x-intercept of the graph y equals f of x, what is the x-intercept of the graph for each of the following? So in this case, the x-intercept is still r because it is r and 0. And if we're doing the negative, it would change this one. So the x-intercept is still r0. All right. Okay. So on this next one, we have what is the opposite of x? Oh, okay. Well, then that would be negative r and 0 because the function only changes what the r is. And if we do opposite of opposite, well, then we're going to have r and 0 because it's the flip of the negative. So there you go. So we're going to have R0. Okay. This is our last example, and I know you're grateful. Okay, but this helps you in your production of what we do in the course. All right. So we're talking business because this is business eco. C of x is the cost to produce x batches of widgets, and R of x is a revenue of the thousands and thousands of dollars. So our revenue is negative x squared plus 10x. our cost is x plus 8. Graph both functions. All right. So in this case, let's do our r of x in blue. Okay. So if I have r of 0, I have 0 and 0. So that's our start. All right. So if I have, then we want the vertex, right? So we want the vertex is the opposite of b over 2a, and that means it's going to be negative 10 over 2 times negative 1, so it's a 5. So we want 5 as our equation. So I want for our equation f of 5. So it's negative 5 squared plus 10 times 5. Negative 25 plus 50, 25. Alrighty. Now we have that. And so if it's 0, 0, then, and we're talking 25, well, the next 5, we should do 10, shouldn't we? If I do 10, I have 100. Yes, I'll do 10. If I do 10, I'm going to have f of 10. And that's going to be a negative 10 squared plus 10 times 10, because that'll give me 100. So I'll get back to the 0. All right. So I have my revenue function, 0, 0. Then I have 5 and 25. That's my vertex. And I have 10, 0. All right. And you'll do this with a tool on your computer. It'll be easier than your instructor drawing it on a tablet. All right. So I have this parabola. Now I want to do my line. So I'm going to do the green. And let me do maybe that one. Okay. So c of x equals x plus 8. So in c of x, if x is 0 and y is 8, okay, 0 and it costs 8, okay. Then I can do, let's do 5. Then I get 13. 5 is 13. Then I'm going to do 10. If I do 10, I have 18. Because it's linear. This is my line. All right. So now they want identify the vertex of r of x. Well, we got that. 5 and 25. Identify the y-intercept of c of x. And that would be 0 and 8. The minimum break-even quantity is, all right, the minimum would be this one. That means where they're both the same value. So we're going to have to use our calculator for that one. So we're going to go to the y equals, and we're going to clear everything. And I'm going to show you how to do this. So we're going to enter both functions. Here we go. All right. I'm going to enter the negative x squared plus 10x on the first line. On the second line, I'm going to enter the x plus the 8. Oops, sorry, 8. And I'm going to go, I need this graph here. So I'm going to go to my window, and I'm going to enter, I'll do, let's do -5 for x minimum, and let's do 12 for max. And then on the bottom, we're going to do a -3 for the min, and the max, I'm going to put 30. And we're going to do multiples of 5, so we don't have a whole bunch of lines. So here we go. All right. So we can see our graph that we do, and we have this, and this is the minimum. So I'm going to do, now let's write that down. Okay, and we're talking about for intersection. All right. So we're going to do a second calc, and we're going to do 5. And we're going to move the cursor where we think the answer is, the red and the blue cross, and we're going to enter, 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 and we get 1 and 8. Now remember, you can halt this video and take notes. So we move the cursor to answer, and then we hit enter 3 times. Enter the first for the first line, enter for the second line, and enter for solution. All right, there you have it. Okay, we said it was 1 and 9. The maximum revenue, the minimum break-even quantity, the quantity, that's how many to produce, is 1. Find the maximum revenue. Okay, that's the minimum, that break-even quantity. They said quantity, so that's X. How many you make is X. The answer to the money is Y. So we're going to do second calc, number 5, intersect, and we're going to move our cursor to the opposite side because we want the max, and that would be the max. And now they want the revenue. So enter, enter, enter. And this is 8 and 16. So under the 8 and 16, now we know that this was done in thousands. 16,000. When 8 are sold. Find the maximum profit dollars. Identify the expression in terms of P of X. All right. So we know P of X is R of X minus C of X. All right. So let's do a little bit math, not anything serious. So P of X is equal to the negative X squared, what was it, plus 10X minus, and then we have X plus 8. Negative 10X squared plus 10X minus X minus 8. Now we're going to do a little bit math, distributive, once we've done the distributive property. negative x squared plus 9x minus 8. And the max profit is $16,000. All right. So there you have it. We are done. Now you can do the homework. Thank you for listening.